Right now, somewhere out there, your soulmate is standing at a crossroads. They are about to make a decision that will either bring them closer to you or push them further away. And God wants you to hear this before it happens. If this message found you today, it is not by accident. Subscribe right now, hit that like button, and drop in the comments if you believe God still writes love stories. Because what I am about to tell you in the next 5 minutes could change everything. Not just for you, but for the person who was made specifically for you. Let us get into this. There is a moment that happens in every divine connection that most people never talk about. It is the moment right before the breakthrough. The moment before two souls finally stop running and actually choose each other. And it is the most dangerous moment of all. Because that is exactly when fear shows up. That is when doubt knocks on the door. That is when the enemy works the hardest to separate what God designed to come together. Your soulmate right now may be sitting in silence. They may be staring at their phone, thinking about you, and talking themselves out of reaching out. They may be scrolling through memories of the two of you, wondering if they made a mistake. They may be fighting a war inside themselves that you cannot see. And the reason I know this is because God does not bring two people into divine alignment for no reason. There is always a test before the testimony. There is always a wilderness before the promised land. And right now, your person might be in that wilderness. Not because they stopped caring, not because the connection was not real, but because they are human. And humans get scared of the very things they love the most. Think about it. The things we want the most are the things we fear losing the most. And when something feels too good, too right, too aligned with everything you have been praying for, sometimes the first instinct is to pull back. Not because it is not real, but because it is so real it is terrifying. Your soulmate is not running from you. They are running from the version of themselves that they are afraid to become. The version that is fully open. The version that is fully vulnerable. The version that loves without walls and trusts without guarantees. That is a scary place to live. Especially if they have been hurt before. Especially if every person they opened up to before walked away. Especially if every time they chose someone, that person made them regret it. So now, the moment they feel something real, something deep, something that actually touches their soul, their body goes into protection mode. And they hesitate. And that hesitation looks like distance from the outside. It looks like coldness. It looks like confusion. It looks like they changed. But what is really happening is that they are fighting for you on the inside, while looking like they are pulling away on the outside. God said in Proverbs 3:5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Your soulmate is trying to understand something that can only be felt. They are trying to make logical sense out of a spiritual connection. And that never works. Because what God put between you two was never meant to be figured out. It was meant to be walked into. Step by step. In faith. And right now, they are at the edge of that step. They are at the edge of surrender. And before they make their final choice, there are things your soulmate needs you to know. Not things you need to say to them. Things you need to carry in your spirit so that the energy between you two shifts. Because what you hold in your heart affects them, even from a distance. This is not metaphor. This is spiritual reality. The first thing your soulmate needs you to know is that your patience is one of the most powerful things about you. Not passive waiting. Not sitting in anxiety checking their last scene every 5 minutes. Not spiraling in your bedroom wondering what you did wrong. I mean the kind of patience that trusts the process. The kind that says, I know what God showed me about this person, and I am not going to let fear make me throw it away. The kind that prays for them instead of pressuring them. The kind that keeps growing, keeps healing, keeps becoming while the timing is being aligned. Your soulmate can feel that patience, even if they cannot name it. even if they are not in contact with you right now. There is an invisible thread between soulmates that does not break because of silence. When you are at peace, they feel it. When you are in panic, they feel that too. So one of the most powerful things you can do right now is choose peace. Not because everything is resolved. Not because you have answers. But because you trust the God who designed this connection more than you fear the silence. The second thing your soulmate needs you to know is that you are not the sum of their past relationships. This is important because sometimes the way your person is acting has nothing to do with you specifically. It has everything to do with what they carry from before you. The ex who left without warning. The parent who modeled love as something that always comes with pain. The friendship that turned into betrayal. All of that lives in them. And when you walked into their life, you did not just walk into their present. You walked into every wound they have not yet healed. Every fear they have not yet faced. Every pattern they have not yet broken. And sometimes, love that is too good triggers all of that at once. It is like pouring clean water into a dirty glass. The water is clean, but the dirt in the glass makes it look murky. You are the clean water. Do not let their murkiness make you believe you are the problem. You are the answer to their prayer. But they have to be ready to receive answered prayers. And readiness takes time. And healing takes time. And God does not rush divine timing just because we are impatient. The third thing your soulmate needs you to know is that your healing is the most attractive thing you can do right now. Not a new haircut. Not sending the perfect text. Not making yourself more available or more mysterious. Your healing. Because the version of you that has done the inner work, that has addressed your own wounds, that has stopped asking people to complete you and started walking in wholeness, that version of you is magnetic. That version of you calls out to the divine masculine or divine feminine in your person in a way that nothing else can. When you are healed, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, they start noticing. Not because you are playing games, but because healed people carry a different energy. They are not desperate. They are not anxious. They are grounded. They are whole. And wholeness calls to wholeness. When they see you moving in your purpose, living in your peace, glowing from the inside out. Not waiting for them to make you happy, but being happy regardless, something in them wakes up. Something in them says, that is the person. That is who I do not want to lose. And they will make their move. Not because you manipulated them, but because God used your healing to awaken something in them. The fourth thing your soulmate needs you to know is that they are afraid you will eventually leave. This might be hard to hear, but your soulmate, the one who may seem like they are the one pulling away, the one who seems cold or unavailable or uncertain, is often the one who is most terrified of abandonment. People who have been deeply hurt before do not always cry about it. Sometimes they leave before they can be left. Sometimes they push away the very people they want to pull closer. Because their nervous system has been trained to expect rejection. And when love actually arrives, their first thought is not, this is beautiful. Their first thought is, how long before this person realizes I am not enough and walks away? So they test you, sometimes consciously, sometimes not. They go quiet to see if you will stay. They pull back to see if you will pursue. They act like they do not care to see if you will prove that you do. It is not manipulation. It is survival. It is a wounded heart trying to protect itself from the pain it has already known. And what they need from you is not a perfectly crafted response. They need consistency. They need to see that you do not disappear when things get uncomfortable. They need to see that your love is not conditional on their performance. They need to see you stay. Not in a desperate way. Not in a way that abandons your own boundaries or dignity. But in a steady, secure, God-rooted way that communicates, I am not going anywhere. I see what this is. I know what God is doing. and I am not afraid of the process. That kind of steadiness is rare. And for someone who has only known love that comes and goes, that kind of steadiness feels like coming home. The fifth thing your soulmate needs you to know is that God is preparing them for you just as much as He is preparing you for them. You have been praying. You have been growing. You have been doing the work. And you might feel like you are ready and they are not. But consider this. God is working on both ends of this thread at the same time. While you are healing your abandonment wounds, He is healing their fear of commitment. While you are learning to receive love, He is teaching them how to give it properly. While you are letting go of control, He is building their courage. The timing is not random. Every delay is a preparation. Every silence is a season. Every moment of uncertainty is God doing something in them that has to be done before the two of you can build what He has designed. You cannot build a house on a cracked foundation. And God is not going to let a divine assignment begin on top of unhealed wounds. So waiting is not punishment. The waiting is a partnership with God. He is saying, trust me. I know what this person needs. I know what you need. And I am not going to give you each other prematurely just because the world moves fast. Divine things move on divine schedules. And His schedule is always perfect, even when it does not feel like it. The sixth thing your soulmate needs you to know is that the connection between you two is real. I want to speak directly to the part of you that is starting to doubt. The part of you that is wondering if you imagined the depth of it. If you made it bigger than it was. If the signs were just coincidences. You did not imagine it. The way they looked at you was real. The conversations that went until 3 a.m. were real. The feeling that this person knows me, really knows me, was real. The way things flowed so naturally, so effortlessly, in a way that has never happened with anyone else, that was real. God put that there. That is called a divine signature. It is the mark He puts on connections that are built for purpose. And the enemy wants you to doubt it. Because if you doubt it, you let it go. And if you let it go, the enemy wins. But God says, what I have joined together, let no man, no fear, no past, no distance, no silence put asunder. So if the connection was marked by God, it is not undone by a season of confusion. It is not cancelled by a moment of fear. It is being tested. And tests are passed, not failed, by people who stay in faith. The seventh thing your soulmate needs you to know is that your prayers for them are more powerful than any conversation you could have. You might be wishing right now that you could just talk to them. Just say the right thing. Just explain what you feel in a way that breaks through all the walls. But let me tell you something. Your words can reach their ears. But your prayers can reach their heart. Your prayers can enter rooms that your physical presence cannot enter. Your prayers can touch a place in them that no text message, no phone call, no perfectly timed conversation ever could. When you pray for your soulmate, specifically, intentionally, not out of desperation, but out of love, you are partnering with God to do a work for them that you could never do yourself. Pray for their healing. Pray for their peace. Pray for the fear to be removed. Pray for clarity to come to them. Pray that every lie the enemy has told them about love, and about you, and about themselves would be exposed and replaced with truth. And pray for yourself too. Pray that you remain rooted. That you do not let anxiety drive you to do things that push them further away. That you trust God with the outcome. That you find joy in the waiting. That you become so secured in who you are and who God says you are that whether this person comes or goes, you remain whole. Because here is the truth about divine connections. They are not given to desperate people. They are given to prepared people. They are given to people who have learned how to carry love without dropping it. Who have learned how to receive without grasping. Who have learned how to give without losing themselves. Are you that person yet? Because if you are not, the waiting might be for you too. Not just for them, God may be saying to you right now, I am not holding back what I promised you. I am holding it until you are strong enough to hold it back. The eighth thing your soulmate needs you to know is that your love should never have to beg to be chosen. This is important, and I need you to sit with this one. Yes, your soulmate is afraid. Yes, they have wounds. Yes, they need patience and prayer. But there is a line between patience and people-pleasing. There is a line between waiting in faith and waiting in self-abandonment. A divine connection does not require you to shrink yourself. It does not require you to apologize for wanting to be chosen. It does not require you to watch someone treat you like an option while you treat them like a priority. God does not design sacred connections to make you suffer. He designs them to make you grow. And growth sometimes means being honest about what you will and will not accept. It means having the hard conversation. It means saying, I am here, I am real, and I deserve clarity. Not in anger, not in desperation, but in the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth because they know who made them. Your soulmate needs to see that. They need to see that you are not going to wait forever with no direction. They need to see that you value yourself enough to set a standard. Because sometimes love needs a container. And you being clear about what you are willing and not willing to accept is that container. It actually gives them something real to choose. It gives them a moment of decision. And sometimes that decision is what wakes everything up. The ninth thing your soulmate needs you to know is that you are allowed to stop holding your breath. You are allowed to live your life. You are allowed to laugh, to go places, to pursue your dreams, to invest in your friendships, to wake up excited about something that has nothing to do with whether they texted back. Your life is not on pause because they are figuring themselves out. Your calling does not stop because love is in process. Your joy is not dependent on their next move. And when you start living fully, not to prove something, not to make them jealous, but because you genuinely love the life God gave you, something shifts. You stop orbiting them, and you become your own sun again. And soulmates are not drawn to moons. They are drawn to suns. They are drawn to people who carry their own light, who does not need to be filled up, who brought something to the table that was already there before anyone sat down. Be that person, not because it is a strategy, but because that is who you were always meant to be. The 10th and final thing your soulmate needs you to know is that this story is not over. The fact that it is confusing right now does not mean it is ending. The fact that it is quiet right now does not mean it is finished. The fact that it is hard right now does not mean it was wrong. Some of the greatest love stories in history had chapters that looked like the end. Chapters full of silence, misunderstanding, fear, distance, and confusion. But they were not the end. They were in the middle. And you are in the middle right now. Not at the beginning. Not at the end. In the middle. And the middle is always the hardest part. The middle is where most people quit. The middle is where fear wins over faith in most stories. But not in yours. Not if you stay grounded in God. Not if you keep praying. Not if you keep healing. Not if you keep trusting that the God who gave you the vision is faithful enough to bring it to pass. He did not show you that person so that you could spend your life wondering what could have been. He showed you that person because what he builds, he finishes. And right now, your soulmate is standing at the edge of their final choice. They are looking at everything they have been through, everything they are afraid of, everything they want, and somewhere deep inside them there is a voice. Not their own fear, not the world's noise, but the voice of God. And that voice is saying your name. That voice is showing them what they could lose if they walk away. That voice is reminding them of every moment they felt most alive, and every single one of those moments had you in it. And before they make their choice, what they need to feel from you is not pressure. What they need to feel is peace. The peace that says, I am here. I am not afraid. I trust what God is doing between us. And I am not going anywhere. That peace is louder than any words. That peace is what moves mountains. That peace is what parts the sea between two people who belong together. So right now, take a breath. Pray for them. Trust God. Keep growing. Keep living. Keep glowing. And know that if God put this person in your life, no amount of fear, no season of silence, no amount of confusion can stop what He designed. What God joins, He protects. And what He protects, He brings home. Your soulmate is coming home. Stay ready. If this message reached the part of you that needed it most today, share this video with someone who is waiting on their person right now. Leave a comment and tell me one word that describes what you are believing in God for in your love life. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it right now. Because every week we go deeper into the things that the world never tells you about love, purpose, healing, and the God who is writing your story. This is not just a channel. This is a space where your soul comes to be reminded of what it already knows. I will see you in the next one. God has not forgotten you.